Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Return of Whatever. I'm Herbert Midgley.
I'm Daniel Nelson.
And we're missing a friend. I think he's right now lifting some weights right now.
Yeah, he's becoming a buff geek.
Check out the pythons. Hey, there's a video I got on the YouTube of me machine weighting 205 pounds. Yeah. Well, Dan, let's dive right into it. You got a cool story you want to start off on?
Oh, I got all kinds of stuff. I think the two biggest ones I wanted to talk about today were really, well, the first one was I found an article on the New York Times that I thought was really well written, and it dealt with some of the dangers of cloud computing.
Oh, okay.
And particularly it kind of focused on and what I thought was sort of unique about it, because there are lots of articles about cloud computing and why you might do it or might not do it, but in this case it was really that it talked a little bit more about the legal point of view of cloud computing, and it had some ramifications in there that I never really thought about before. The biggest one was like, you know, it, right? Like say somebody wants to get at like some like law enforcement government agency or whatever wants to get access to your documents, right? Well, it's harder for them to get access to your documents that reside physically on your computer in your home than it is for them to get a subpoena to subpoena like Google or something to get access to your Google Docs, right? So it makes it easier for the government to like look at your stuff. Like, not that they want to look at my podcast show notes, but it's definitely, it's like something I never really thought about before, and it sort of makes me think again, about the Big Brother stuff and the cloud computing thing.
Well, it really proves to us now that in a lot of ways I don't care about the computer as much as I do the data.
Yeah.
The data, I mean, computer's $400 now, $300 now. The data, it's hours and hours and hours and hours. And even if you're like a gamer, if you get your certain maps you have or saved games, that's more important to you than the computer it is, because you might spend 5 billion hours on WoW. I guess they back that up on the WoW server, I guess, right?
Yeah, WoW is backed up on the WoW server. That's
Okay,
correct.
well, maybe that's not a good example, but like some of those games you spend 5 billion hours on, you don't want to do that again on there. So the data is more important. And are we getting to the point where that it's becoming increasingly easy for folks to read our personal stuff? And with a president out there basically having his own BlackBerry, his special BlackBerry that's not supposed to be able to get hacked or whatnot, it just shows, even to him, it's really important to be able to have his email friends or whatever he needs to do himself. And there's some concerns, and that may actually come back and get him a little bit, because I guess basically that email is not private, no matter what it is, and so
Yeah.
forth. So, yeah, I can see exactly that. That in theory, it sounds really cool to be able to do that. But if for our even though it's a little bit out of our area, because you're over there in that area, is that the founding fathers, I think, had it right with the Bill of Rights. There's a reason why they're there, and that we can do certain things, and we can have a podcast. I mean, this is their first, the freedom of, basically the freedom of press right here. The freedom of speech that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Um,
The
and
right to say stuff, even if it's inane and boring.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is no podcast in the Constitution. However, this falls under that free speech area, and in some countries we couldn't do this. So I'm very happily we're here in America, and we're able to do that. It sounds fascinating. Well, I got a quick one, Dan. I just kind of uploaded to the show notes, and our social websites harming children's brains. Chilling warning to parents from top neurologists. And what
Yeah.
this
What
basically
what do they have to
says is
say in there?
Facebook and MySpace is bad. Uh,
Well, from what point of view though? Like, I mean, like, is it literally like harming the development of the brain, or is it? I'm
basically
assuming it's from a neuroscientific point of view.
it's basically rewiring us that we have this trigger effect that we need to check how many times we got poke, constantly checking on other things and so forth, and that's taking away from us actually having an interaction with real people and so forth. It's kind of a surrogate with real human contact. And I guess you can make an argument on either case, because there's definitely people on the
Yeah.
Facebook that will do things and have an interaction that they never would have face to face with people.
Didn't you also have something about texting can be good for your kids?
Yeah, yeah, that was kind of a cute little article. I don't know if you had a chance to look through that one or not.
I didn't. But what's the thesis there? Are they?
Well,
I mean, is that like
basically,
a joke? I mean, obviously because they spelled it the letter B, GD, for like the numeric for you are your kids.
they kind of basically talk about the same scenario as how back in my day we learned that multiplication cables analog in our brains. Today, kids use the calculator. And they said
Yeah.
after a while, basically, that you would start, simple ones is faster to do it in your head than it is actually typing in the calculator on there. Well, that this is basically, they talk about how there's a lot of phonics stuff with misspelt words and things like that. They're coming up with unique ways to, like using an 8 instead of like 8 something, but 8, so hominies and that
Yeah.
type of thing. So
But I mean, are they being tongue in cheek and saying that it? I mean, because are they saying that it's actually good for kids to do texting, or is it that it's bad for kids to do texting? And they're
uh,
being tongue in cheek in the way they wrote it.
no, I think they actually meant it as it's not bad for it. It's a pretty short article. I mean, if you felt like going through it, I mean it's not a scholarly piece of information text. I don't think, but it does kind of give food for thought. I will say this: there's definitely a lot more people that are text messaging now than um, than it used to be writing. And is text messaging better than not writing at all? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually started using it a lot too. Don't know.
Well, not me, because it costs me 20 cents every time I text message.
Well, you need to take some of that big fat Google ad money you're making and put it into a text messaging plan for your cell phone or
Well,
something.
I think I'm just about to do this, Dan. My landline used to be $18. It went up to like 20. Now it's like 25. I almost never use it, and the only people that ever call me up is telemarketers. So I am like that close to the saying getting rid of that, and then I got $25 more I could put towards something in the cell phone, I guess. Um,
Yeah, for probably for like $10, you could get like 1,000 text messages a month or something, and then you can just pocket the rest.
yeah, I really don't know anything else. I guess I could get a data plan, but I don't really got a good phone, so really for that, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, for forever, the thing that kind of kept me with a landline is that for
Or
the
just
nine
put it
one
in an
one
account,
emergencies.
put it in an account, and then every few months you could buy something nice.
Yeah, that's true.
That's like a whole nother guitar every 6 months.
Yeah, I know. It is. It's just, and back in my mind, I think for 911 purposes, that's the reason why I kept it. But now cell phones do 911, so I guess it really doesn't matter now as much.
Yeah.
But the only thing, like when the storms come in and the cell phone towers go out, uh, electricity may be down, but I'll tell you what, the landline actually stays online over here.
Yeah.
So I think this is the year that my landline
But
will go away.
can you make I don't like if you're not paying for phone service, is that line just completely dead, or can you make like 911 calls out of it?
It is dead.
It's dead.
Yeah.
I
If
don't know. I lived since I moved up here over 5 years now without a landline. So,
the
and I
only
don't
people
miss it really.
the only people I know that have landlines are old people now, and I guess that's me. The young people, they all got cell phones. That's it. They don't even think of it. Now my cell phone bill, I got grandfathered in. is $29 a month, and that's
Yeah, mine's like 70.
that's 300 anytime minutes, and then after 9 o'clock, I got free minutes till 7 o'clock in the morning, and then on the
Yeah.
weekends it's all free. And
I don't even remember how many minutes I have, but it's like it's pretty much like I can talk on the phone forever. It doesn't. I mean,
well, I tell you what, since the Gmail has that video thing, I talk more to a Meet and you guys that way than I do actually on the phone,
yeah.
and that's free and it doesn't cost anything. So I think the landline is about to go away, at least for me. I wish I could call them and say, tell you what, I'll give you $5 a month. I won't make any calls. All I want to use is for 911. I'd pay $5 a month for that, just to have it for 911.
I thought they had something like that.
It ain't cheap. I'll call up and
Maybe they got rid of it because they had so many people doing it or something. I don't know.
yeah. I really wish there was an easier way to kind of splice my cell phone into that, but everything I looked into, it's not what I was hoping for. So,
Yeah.
any case, I guess we kind of digressed a little bit. Well, Dan, you got another cool one you want to talk about?
Yeah. Have you heard of the Microsoft Elevate America program?
No.
I just learned of it today, um, and apparently it was announced last Sunday,
Huh.
and it's um, what I gathered from what I read was that Microsoft is pushing. I don't know if it's they use the word vouchers, so I guess you get like credits towards free education in various Microsoft education programs, either fully online or through some kind of like video conferencing centers and stuff. And they basically have everything from like very basic computer technology stuff, like what is the internet, to like getting like certifications on Microsoft XP repair and troubleshooting and stuff like that.
Man, what is the internet? Maybe I should sign up for that. Free tech train of millions. Well, I will say this. This shows you the power of the internet. That at some point that would have cost Bank Ola to fly to a place, have a live, get a conference place for it, and now they can just do it all on the computer. All
So
through.
I don't really understand the purpose of this because in the article they say like, they quote 3.6 million jobs have been lost since the recession began in December, and a lot of these are IT people. And then they're like, and turn around saying like, if we train more people, they'll, like I don't understand why you're pushing to get 20 million people trained for, and then they're saying like they're laying, all these people are being laid off. I don't know, get that. Maybe I'm just not a genius when it comes to economy.
Well, I don't know either. I mean, I will say this in some ways. I think conferences. I guess they're not quite 100% dead, but we got an email basically saying no more. Try not to travel very much anymore. Those type of things. So people are cutting back all over the country,
Well,
and
that's like the first thing to go, especially in education. It's like, and everywhere. I actually remember that being like something we used to think would be a big pusher for teleconferencing technology. Was that as money gets tighter for travel and travel gets more expensive, you would sort of think there'd be like a renewed interest in video conferencing technology, which to me at least seems like it's kind of like died off. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you don't hear about it. And in fact, the technology has gotten much better. We're having this video chat now, and the technology has come a long way. But I don't hear about it anymore. You don't hear about it in media. You don't hear about it in education
Dan,
very much.
you got to realize the reason why people go to conferences is to get away from work. That's it. Every year I try to go down to this big one in TMA, and I go to sessions. I'm one of the ones that I feel I'm paying money. I'm going to go. I'm going to go to these sessions. Man, all right, they're half filled sometimes. Sometimes they're full, but they're mostly half filled or 10 people or 20 people. I walk around the Riverwalk, Dan. Guess where they're at? They're in the Riverwalk over there in San Antonio, uh, and and that's why I mean for me I'd say, well, why can't I have these conferences like on Friday, Saturday? Why I got to be in the middle of the week? Why I got to miss work? Oh, because people don't want to work, Herbert. That's why. You have it on the weekend. Well, I ain't gonna go. That's my time. That's my weekend time. All they
Yeah.
got to do is this, is if they had them on the weekends, just give those people 2 days comp time during the regular week or something.
Yeah.
If that's so vital and whatnot. But yeah, you're right, Dan. Basically, with Gmail or this iChat, I mean, you're in Boston. I'm in deep East Nacogdoches, nowhere, Texas, and it's just basically we're like in the same room almost, or like you're in another room over. I mean, it's really in by 2009. This has gotten really good. The bandwidth is up here. We really don't have much problems with this.
Yeah, and this is all on commodity internet and commodity, whatever, and I'm on a Wi-Fi connection, so this is like kind of like lowest common denominator stuff.
Oh, I'm a Wi-Fi
You know,
too, and back in the day, OIT. I mean, it was like $1 million worth of equipment, was it, to do televideo stuff?
yeah, pretty much. Big Cisco routers and stuff, and video conference routers
Yeah,
and
it's.
all that specialized video conference equipment and
I,
that set in the rooms and stuff.
I think all that stuff is gone, and they just replace it with software now.
Yeah.
I mean that it's just amazing. Now they use it a whole lot, but it just now it's out of date comparison uh, to those days. But yeah, that is actually a good comment. I just don't hear that as much anymore. Every once in a while, I get an email. You pay $300 and you go to this video conference online for education or something like that, and I never do it either.
Well, I have actually done not so much conferences. Well, I guess they technically are like more like webinars. I have done those pretty regularly actually. They're hard to fit into the office schedule, but like Blackboard slash WebCT used to have, and they may still haven't, but I just haven't had time to go to them lately. But they used to have these like um, sort of they would have these like sessions where people would get to talk, other institutions, and then they would have sort of like um, a conference call, and then they also had ones that were really neat where you actually got to like sit in and into like a web conference with some like tools like what was Wimba? Do you remember? Horizon Wimba, right? It was kind of like web conferencing software. And we'd use this, and we actually get to sit in and talk to the guys that were doing the coding development for bug fixes and stuff, and that was really kind of cool. And I've actually presented in a couple of them. Like I did a presentation on integrating uh, WebCT with Campus Pipeline.
Ah,
Yeah, back in the early days when we set that all up, like we were one of the first campuses to ever get it working, and and so they wanted us to do like a little like presentation on what we did to get it working and how we got it working and how great it was. And so yeah, I did it was like 2.5 hours long or something with a question and answer session, and we did that over the web.
so
And
Dan,
other
how do you
campus
do
really liked it.
this? How do you get to work? Well, let me show you right here. Blah 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 blah.
So I mean, I do find them like as long as the topics are relevant and they're kept on track, they can be pretty good, and I think you can get a lot of benefit and get a lot of expertise from a lot of different areas. I don't know.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, with the YouTube revolution going on, I mean, Dan, I'm getting close. I got over 900,000 views on the tube. In the last couple of months, they've been going up. Like probably next month, I'll be up over to a million views just on YouTube by itself. And for me to reach that many people, it's just fascinating, man. It really is. Now I got a couple of Herbert fans out there, I think, that watch my stuff over and over and over again, probably. But I'm still thinking at least a half a million of those folks are new viewers, probably on various things.
I don't
Uh,
know. I'm at least 100,000 of those, man. I don't know. It's
but I'll
like
tell
I watch
you,
all your
your
stuff
cooking.
on repeat.
I tell you, I love your cooking shows, man. You get some more of the works coming up.
Yeah, I got some plans. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to filming them, but I got some planned. I got the recipes all worked out.
I ran out of cooking with herb stuff because basically after showing you how to make a sandwich, that's that's about my highest part of cooking at that point there.
I got lots of recipes, man. I My next one's gonna be a really simple polenta bake, so it's gonna be pretty good.
Well, you got some good views
Polenta,
on that.
pasta sauce.
Keep,
It's gonna be good bachelor fare too, 'cause it's really easy to do.
well, I think people really like those a lot, so you got to keep on putting those out there without a doubt. Well, Dan, you got
And
anything
I
else, or
bet
you
you.
want to call it a podcast?
Let's just. I had two things I just want to mention real briefly. One is I guess snow leopard is coming out, right? It's a new 10.6
Yeah.
OSX, and I guess it's mostly going to be mostly bug fixes. But I don't know. I got a link here to a CNET article, and like I guess the thing that I took out of it was they have like a kind of a new like undo feature to the trash, which is kind of nice. You don't have to go into the trash like all the way anymore, and then like go figure out where you deleted something from. You just like select it and say like undelete, and it undeletes it. I thought that was kind of cool. And the other thing is like I didn't even know this existed. Did you know it existed? Simple Wikipedia.
No.
Well, I saw an XKCD comic about it today, and I thought it was pretty funny, so I looked it up, and it exists. And it's essentially like it's Wikipedia, but explained so that you can understand it if you're not very smart. I guess. I don't know, it's supposed to be like for English for people who don't read English very well, or having trouble understanding the concepts. I guess I don't know, but I thought it was very funny. Uh, like I don't know.
That is pretty cool.
Like I want to look up. Let's just see. I want to look up something fairly complicated because like some of Wikipedia is actually pretty deep, right? Like if you look up like a math or engineering or science, I mean there's actually like math in there, very complex math a lot of times. So if we look up something like I don't know, black hole,
It's a hole in space.
maybe like gravity wave theory, right? Gravity wave
Oh,
theory.
that's interesting. Okay.
Let's see. So gravitation theory that all objects have mass try to move toward each other. In everyday life, gravitation is commonly thought of as the force that gives objects weight. So it's just like it's a very simple explanation, you
Well,
know.
I still don't think Herbert Midgley has made Wikipedia or Simplepedia either. For all those
What?
out there in
A
podcast
million, like a
land,
million hits and no Wikipedia.
no, man.
I wonder, like maybe I should create it because like you tried to create the last one, right?
Yeah, if you feel like if you feel like doing it or anybody out there in podcast land, I even put like a request for people to write it. No one's done anything. It made me sad, man. I'm thinking. I found like some insane stuff uh, golly, what was it? It was some inane stuff that has pages. Like Homer Simpson eats a pie has a page. I'm thinking, uh, and they got some other folks. Kevin Rose. Okay, maybe he deserves a page. Maybe Alex, Leo Laporte deserves a page inherently. But there were some minor folks out there. Okay, the Star Wars kid has a page. Okay,
Really?
yes, he has a page, which he deserves. I think he deserves, but I think I deserve too. I don't know, but anybody out there that feels like writing a Wikipedia on me, um, I had the page is still up there, so if you feel like tweaking it, make it look better or whatever, you probably could find it. But I don't know. I think I'm banned on the Wikipedia area. I can't get in the
Yeah,
wiki.
he has like a really long page, the Star Wars kid.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
famous.
I'm gonna have to do something about this, man, because like the Herb is it's the internet legend.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking, you know, I mean, they had. they had some. I forgot what else. They had some minor celebrity pages type things going on, and it was just kind of depressing in some way. So every couple of years, I try to write something and it gets rejected. But if anybody feels like doing it, go right ahead. And
Yeah, I'll put it on my to-do list, man. We're gonna take care of this.
that'd be awesome, man. Be awesome. Well, cool, Dan. Well, Dan, thanks for another great podcast. I know this is usually the part that Amit tells you where to find us.
What do we do without a meet? I know how to end the podcast.
Well,
We have a website or something, right?
we'll try to get a meet here next time. Basically, return of whatever .com will take you to the blog and take you to all these links. And return at whatever at gmail.com. You can send out an email, and then return at whatever without the R on Twitter is the Twitter area, and I'm on there. Dan, I know you're on there. You probably don't use it. You probably use it. I mean, uses it the most. I use it the next.
Man. I think Twitter is the dumbest thing ever.
I I I, I won't disagree.
I feel like everybody thinks it's dumb, but everybody feels like they should do it.
Well, what happens?
It was like a cruel joke somebody made up. Like, we're gonna make something really, really dumb, but like we'll convince people that it's really cool, and it'll be the thing. And they did it. They were like high, probably sitting around,
Yeah, well, like this for Wikipedia for me. I mean, so not Wikipedia, but Twitter. It's just something to do. I mean, I post something on there every once in a while. I was trying to do that off and on for like a week, and I got tired of it. I'll be honest.
It's like blogging for people that don't know what to say.
Well, I thought like this. Maybe I could use it for advertisable purposes. So I put a couple links to my YouTube stuff on there. No hits really. Maybe like 1 or 0. So I'm thinking, well, that really is that for me. I mean, as much as people love me, I don't think they really care that I'm going to walk outside and then I came back in. I don't think anybody really cares that much about my life. I mean, it's really hot right now. I saw a couple things this weekend on the book channel after the C-SPAN 1 or 2, whatever it was. And they had the founders of one was the founder of Netscape. And he's an angel investor in it. And then they actually had the guy that started. Remember, was it? Or it started with O. The thing for podcasting, Olio. Golly, I forgot the name of it. Right before iTunes Store came out with podcasting, that was the one that you try to get on there to get the high up in the list on podcasting stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, they had a side project called Twitter, and they realized they weren't gonna make any money after iTunes came out. So the guy gave back everybody's money that invested in that one company, and then he offered, well, you can now invest in Twitter if you want, and a lot of people did. So, but they still haven't made any money off of it, which I don't know. I don't know how. I think the advertising dollars are kind of fascinating for the internet, and with the economy, it could either go up or it could go down. Because I hear a lot of things about the internet. Like at least you know how many people are actually going to a website versus on TV or radio. You don't really know for sure how many people are listening or watching those channels. So, yeah. Well, anyways, please check us out. Send us information. I do check the Twitter every once in a while, and Amit does it all the time. So tweet him, and we love you all. Thank you for watching. And I'm Herbert Midgley.
I'm Daniel Nelson.
And we will see you next time. Hopefully, with a meet. The trio will be back. Bye, everybody.
I'm off.